Welcome to the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur. My name is Rita Perez. Hello. I've been a travel advisor for over 10 years and am navigating this winding road of entrepreneurship with you. I created this podcast because I wanted to share all the things I've learned from leaders both in and out of our industry that I really wish I would have known way back then. But alas, the important thing is I'm aware of them now, and I want you to be too. Ready for this week's show? Let's jump in. Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast. So awesome to have you on as usual. Today I have one of my really good friends, Nicolette Reynolds, on with me, and we're going to talk about the thing you've always been listening to me talk about, mailbox power. So welcome, Nicolette.
Hi, Rita. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited. I feel like maybe we've known each other for 10 years now, doing different entrepreneurial things. And you started doing Mailbox Power, and I was like, well, this is a little bit different. And like I was mentioning to you before, I feel like I'm kind of like the anti-social media person, even though I love social media. But I think people need to get stuck off of being so heavily like social media.
Yes. And everybody's getting overloaded, especially over the last year. I mean, everyone's email, I don't know about you, but like the emails are just coming in by just the loads. And then also just the social media notifications. Like there's so many, it's almost impossible to keep up.
Yeah. You say that, and now I'm like, because I've been, one of the things that I've been doing in my travel business is trying to like create different lead magnets and put them on Facebook ads to obviously get them on my email list. But then I was like, I wonder if people like would give me their mailing address to send them some sort of mailer. I don't know, but that is what today's topic is really about, is that we're going to be talking about this cool new feature called Mailbox Power, which is not a feature. It's very robust and there's lots of things that encompass it. But I have been using it in my business to keep in touch with people. I was starting to send birthday cards out last year and found myself falling back because it was just another step I knew I needed to do. But there wasn't an easy way to do it other than going ahead, writing it down, sending it to the post office or going out to my mailbox. You have to buy the stamps, you have to design the card, you have to order the card, all those things. So can you give us like a brief overview, as I see you as more of the expert in Mailbox Power than I am right now, of what Mailbox Power is and how people can use it in their businesses and specifically travel businesses?
Yes. So, originally I fell in love with it because it helped me in my other businesses just to stay in contact and connection with my customers and to just keep that personal connection going, because that's what I think every business is. If you're in business for yourself, it's a relationship business. We're in the relationship business. And if we can keep those relationships growing and going, then it just helps our business, continue. And it also can help with referrals, and, it can grow in so many other different ways. So basically, Mailbox Power is a tool that you can use to re-engage, to nurture, to attract new customers, all of the things. But, what you do is you work really hard in the beginning when you're in those relationships, like on social media and emails, and you're, making sure that your potential customers, right, the customers that you're trying to get are being heard and taken care of. And it's important that you give them a taste test of what being your customer is like. And in the beginning, the relationship is super important, but you don't want to forget about the middle and the end.
Right.
Your client, your customer can choose to leave at any time, no matter what. And no matter how awesome you are, they can just choose to get up and go. So you want to stand out. You want to make sure that you're doing these things that make them want to stay, make them choose you over so many other people.
Right, right. And that, especially like in the travel business, is such a marketing edge that we can have over all the online travel agencies that are out there, over the big box stores saying they send travel. Like, they're not going to have the personal relationship because you're going to be talking to Betty, Bob, Susie, Joe in the whole process, where they're just going to be talking to you the whole process in your small business. And not only that, you're going to do a bunch of these different extras as a small business owner to kind of retain that client.
Especially if you're growing online, especially also if you're getting, quite a few customers consistently at a time. What happens is, you get these customers from Instagram or Pinterest or however you get your customers. And then, you're sending them a lot of emails. You might be sending them something, they might be buying a product from you or whatever it is. Or maybe they're buying a program, a digital program, but there's that personal disconnect there a little bit, So being able for them to purchase something from you digitally or become your customer, and they don't know you, but then they get something in the mail from you that's personalized, it's pretty, that makes them feel like they're the only customer of yours. We have all these customers, and it's hard to keep track and keep everybody, to give that customer that experience that they want, that one and only kind of experience. But being able to do that on a mass scale, but still keep that personalization there, and it's important that you're crafting that amazing customer experience from the very first contact, even after they're not a customer of yours anymore.
Right.
That's a great way to build referrals and to keep growing your business. Referrals are the best kind of, all business is great, but it's very flattering, and it's very nice to get referrals, because then it feels good. It makes you feel like, wow, like people are talking about my business.
Right.
And that's a way to continue to get that.
Right, right. Yeah, no, and as someone who has a birthday actually when this episode launches, it is my birthday. Woohoo!
Oh my goodness.
But I had one of my friends send me a birthday card today on recording day, and I was like, oh, like you just get all the different feels. It is different than, because I've gotten emails from businesses on my birthday, but then I have like the one business that always sends me a card is a lawyer that I worked with quite a few years ago. And I never stop referring that lawyer. Like if anybody needs that, it's a car accident lawyer. If anybody is ever in a car accident, I'm the first one that posts that you need to go to Lawyer Linda. You need to see Lawyer Linda. And she sends birthday and Christmas cards every single year. And I never forget about it.
It's so important. And, you mentioned something about how time consuming and frustrating it can be, like when you purchase cards, and then whether you go to the store and purchase cards, and then you come home, you fill them out, then you've got to get the stamp, then you have to go to the post office. And sometimes it can end up, things happen, and you end up, behind on the cards, no matter what it is. And so this system helps you to automate all of that. You can do it right from your computer, but still keep that personalization, and you automate it to where you can send it out on the specific day that you want it to go out, so that it gets there on time, and you can kind of set it and forget it, which I think is so important, that to save, that's what we want to do in our business, is set up systems and processes that can allow us to save time and to be able to focus on other things.
Well, and the save time was a big one for me, like a big reason why I decided to go ahead and enroll in Mailbox Power, because I was finding like the birthday cards that I was sending out last year, I started sending them out like a little bit later and not on time. And there was just so many things, like travel was starting to like pick up a little bit. I started this second podcast and this second business venture. And I was like, I really need to streamline my process. And I am all about like having the workflow set up. And all you have to do is maybe just click a couple buttons and boom, the end. You don't have to spend too much time once the system has been built.
Yes. And I mean, just for example, something in place where you have a birthday club set up, you put the one card in there. Say you do it, you could do it at any time, but just say ideally you do it on January 1st, you put the card, or you do it on, May 15th or May 16th, you put the card in there, you set it up to go, like, let's just say with USPS right now, setting it up to go 7 days,
right.
7 days before their birthday, so that they get it almost pretty much on their birthday or right before. And then you just change out the card once a year, and then it goes again. So it's very helpful, because people are getting these things in the mail, and you're going to receive phone calls and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Thank you so much for sending it. And then you have to think for a second, oh yeah, no problem, because it went automatically, but yet you're like, oh yes, you're welcome.
Exactly. And I feel like it touches, so I'm a big follower of Rachel Cook. I love listening to her Promote Your CEO podcast. And she talks about, I guess, like her version of a marketing workflow is that you have to attract, engage, nurture, invite, and captivate. So those are the 5 steps. And I feel like Mailbox Power can help out with 4 out of the 5. Invite is really when you're inviting the customer to the sale, which I feel like that's probably not done through the mailbox. But
only done through the mail. There's one way through Mailbox Power, which we'll talk about in a minute, building a mailing list where you can use that custom mailing list. But you're right. Because there is a feature in Mailbox Power where you can actually, it's almost like Facebook ads for your mailbox. Yes. And basically what you can do is you can target specific people and send out a postcard or something, in a specific zip code that you're having an event. But we'll go more back into that.
No, that's fine, because that is actually one of the features I haven't used yet, but one of the features that attracted me to Mailbox Power was that ability to reach mailboxes that I don't currently have access to.
Absolutely. And direct mail is actually making a comeback. I mean, there's some recent statistics that show, right now, direct mail gets looked at 80 to 90% compared to email, which is 20 to 30%. And even 20 to 30%, I think is a decent open rate. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's kind of average. But a person typically holds on to their mail for an average of 17 days. Now, I don't necessarily, depends on what it is, but that is a national, that's a statistic. And another statistic is that 76% of Americans trust purchasing from an online source or a digital source if they've received something in the mail about it first. And that's a high number. So people are trusting what's coming in their mailbox. And if they're seeing it come to their home, we freely give out our email all the time. We wave that around like we just don't care all the time. But we protect our address. So when we do get something in the mail from a business that we've used or somewhere we've shopped from before, when we get that in the mail, we trust that and that helps to get people to your online sources. So for example, if you send out a postcard to your customers, your existing list, and you can put a QR code on there that drives them back to, your website, drives them to a digital download. So we're not just talking about like dinosaur age direct mail. We're talking about, 2021 direct mail where you take and you get it in front of them in their mailbox, but then you drive it back to all of your online channels. And that just helps to bypass all of those distractions that's happening right now. The distractions in social media, the distractions in the email, distractions everywhere. You're kind of like almost taking a shortcut through to them.
Yeah, it is definitely more focused, I believe. So I think we've set a good stage up for the basics. This is going to be a 2-part series. So let's go ahead, cut it off here. And then next week in that episode, we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the ways that I personally have used Mailbox Power in my business, and talk about also some ideas that I haven't used. And Nicolette's very good at strategizing this, so I am looking forward to that conversation. If you are interested in getting in on Mailbox Power right now, you can sign up with my affiliate link at mailboxpower.com/Rita Ventures. And I will have that link in the bio. So I will see you guys next week. Thanks for joining me on the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur. Please subscribe and leave the show a rating on your favorite podcast platform. Oh, and don't forget to take a look at the show notes for important information and links. See you next week.